प्रवाण निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we have been discussing the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the section of Prachetas prayers. Yesterday we began this Prachetas prayers. Today we will continue. So yesterday we came up to Namaha Kamalanabhaya. I think we went beyond also. Rupam Bhagavatatyetad. So the Prachetas basically began the prayers with Namo Namaha Klesha Vinashanaya, how the Lord removes all the distresses of his devotees. And further, they glorified the Lord in various ways, and they praised the Lord's mercy in manifesting himself in this Vigraha form, Archa Vigraha form. Okay. So, in the 29th shloka, the Prachetas said that, O Lord, you are the super soul within the hearts of all living beings. So, naturally, you know the desires of everybody. And you also fulfill those desires. So, if you can fulfill the desires of even materialistic people, what to speak of devotees? You fulfill the desires of conditioned souls. What to speak of devotees? So now the discussion is coming to the desire of Prachetas. So what exactly is the Prachetas desire? So they express it in the 30th shloka. Asav eva varosmakam ipsito jagatah pati prasanno bhagavan yesham apavarga gururgatihi. So they say that Asav eva varo asmakam. O Lord, Lord of universe, Jagatah Pati, we have one little desire. What is that desire? Prasanno Bhagavan Yesham. May you be satisfied with us. So the only desire of a devotee is to satisfy Krishna. So if Krishna is satisfied, the devotee is satisfied. So a devotee endeavors for the satisfaction of the Lord, not for self-satisfaction. The Lord is called Atmarama because he is self-satisfied. A devotee is also called Atmarama because a devotee is satisfied in satisfying the self-satisfied Lord. So, a devotee is also self-satisfied. So, we see that in the 30th shloka, the Prachetas are just praying for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. That is our prediction. Prasanno Bhagavan Yesham Apavarga Gurur Gatihi. You are the Gati. You are the destination of all the devotees. Apavarga Guru means you are the ultimate fact of the absolute truth and you are realized in multiple features. Apavarga is basically liberation. You avoid liberation, and one who is liberated is reinstated in your service ultimately. So, in short, they said, may you be satisfied with us, but actually they had one more desire. Okay. Initially they said, may you be satisfied with whatever we do, whatever we think, whatever we, something like yat karoshi dashnas, yat juhosi dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Like Krishna also says, whatever you do, whatever you give away, whatever you eat, do everything to please me as an offering to me. So here Prachetas in this shloka and in another shloka later, they also say somewhat similar, whatever we do, let that be pleasing to you. But there is something more that they wanted from the Lord. They will express in the next 3-4 shlokas, very interesting shlokas. First, they have a desire, but they are also aware whom are they asking, whom are they approaching with a proposal for this desire, proposal for the fulfillment of this desire. Say Janmashtami is coming up, say some devotees are engaged in raising funds. Okay, if they go to a normal person, a middle class individual, they may expect little money, maybe 100 rupees, 200, 1000 rupees, whatever it may be. But when they are approaching a very wealthy person, he may donate in a bigger quantity. Okay, why 1000, 2000? Take 1 lakh, take 2 lakhs, take 3 lakhs for Krishna's festival. So, like that, a person who is collecting donations also has an understanding of the person who is giving donation. The donor's capacity is understood. All the devatas went to a big donor named Dadhichi. You know what they asked for? They asked for his life, for his bones. So if you understand the desperation of the beggar, then donor will not hesitate to offer anything. So they say many things, as you know. But here, these prachetas were begging from the Lord, and first they are reminding themselves of the Lord's capacity. What can He give? If I go to the Lord and ask, can you feed my breakfast? It doesn't look good, isn't it? So you should ask something more. So the Lord has the capacity to give much more than feeding breakfast. Prabhupada says that people go to God and pray for bread and butter. But the Lord can give much more than that. So first, prachetas are reminding themselves and reminding all of us the capacity of the Lord. What is the capacity of the Lord? Ananta. He is unlimited. 31st sloka is that only. Varam vranimahe thapi nathatvat paratah parat nahyantastvad vibhutinam sonanta iti giyase. So this shloka describes the meaning of Ananta. Varam vranimahe thapi. O Lord, although we just desire your satisfaction and nothing else, still we pray for one benediction. Because you asked, right? You told that you are ready to give any benediction. When did he say? In the 8th shloka, Lord Vishnu told that Varam vranidham bhadram vo yuyam me nripanandana sauhardena prathak dharma tushtoham sauhurdenava. I am ready to give you any benediction you want. You just tell me what you want. So because the Lord gave that promise, they don't want to give it up. So they say that, just a minute, there is power cut. So they are reminding themselves of the capacity of the Lord. Varam vranimahe thapi nathatvat paratah parat. O Lord, you are paratah parat. So the Lord is para, we understand. Param is transcendental. The Lord is transcendental. What is this paratah parat? Transcendental to transcendental. You are beyond transcendental. Okay. The Lord is beyond transcendental. What does that mean? So here, first transcendental refers to Brahman. Second transcendental refers to Bhagavan. Brahman is para. Paratah parat is Bhagavan who is beyond Brahman or who is higher than Brahman. What is Brahman? Brahman is just effulgence of Bhagavan. So Brahman is definitely divine, but the Lord is more divine, the source of the effulgence. That's why paratah parat. Oh paratah parat Lord, nahi antastvad vibhutinam so ananta iti giyasi. There is no end to your opulences. Nahi antah tadvad vibhutinam. Your vibhutis have no end. Who said that? How can Pracheta say, make such a statement? Krishna himself said in Bhagavad Gita, Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam srimadhurjitam bhava. So, even in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna is very clearly declaring that my opulences are unlimited. I can only give you the knowledge of few opulences, selected opulences, the pradhanyataha, only the prominent ones I can speak about. I can't just be speaking everything because the opulences of the Lord are unlimited. Nahi antastad vibhutinam so ananta iti giyase, because there is no end to the opulences of the Lord. The Lord is called Ananta. Anta means end, Ananta means no end. The Lord is Ananta. So, because you are Ananta Lord, we have to ask an Ananta benediction from you. Okay? If the Lord has limited capacity to deliver us, then okay, understood. The Lord has limited capacity. Let's not bother Him by asking Him 100 different things. So, how can He get anything for, how can He fulfill the demands of so many people? So, the devotee may just kind of restrict oneself in asking benedictions. But here, the devotees are completely aware that the Lord is Ananta, nahi antastvad vibhutinam. So, Ananta iti giyasi. Here, Prachetas are expressing their greed for an unlimited benediction, not a meager or simplistic benediction. Okay. So, the proper writes in the purport that the devotee wants, Prabhupada reveals the suspense here. The devotee simply wants to be in the presence of the Lord, either in this world or in the next world. So, this is the ultimate goal and benediction of devotees. So, Prachetas plan to ask the Lord for something which has no limit. So, what is Hare Krishna? What is that thing that does not have any limit? So, they reveal in the future verses. But to increase our excitement and curiosity, they spoke another shloka, 32nd shloka. There also they don't express the desire. They only say, you are unlimited and we are going to ask you an unlimited boon. Once we get that unlimited boon, how will we enjoy? Okay, that's the theme of next shloka, 32nd. Parijatenjasalabdhe sarangonyana sevate Todangharimulamasadya sakshat kim kim vrinimahi. 1 second. So, Parijate Anjasa Labdhe. Sorry, I expected that not many sounds will be around. So, now I had to close all the windows. Parijate Anjasa Labdhe means there is a Saranga. Saram means essence, Saranga means that which seeks essence. Sometimes a bee is called Saranga. What does a bee do? Bee goes into a garden, goes to in the garden there are so many sofas and pathways and flowers and plants and fruits and gazebos, sitting places and lakes, waterfalls. So many things are there in a garden, but the bee is not distracted by anything in the garden. Bee straight goes into the flower and tries to take the nectar, essence. Okay. Devotees are also called essence. Devotees are also called Saranga because they are also essence seekers. They don't put their brain into nonsense. They are essence seekers. So that's why he says, who is that? Vidura speaks to Maitreya. He says that Hare Kathameva Kathasu Saram Uddhritya Pushpebhya Ivarta Bandho Shivayanaha Kirtaya Tirtha Kirtehe. Oh my dear Maitreya, the essence of all topics is Harikatha. So just like a bee collects essence from all flowers, which is the nice nectar, honey, similarly you also collect the essence of all topics and speak to me, Krishna Katha, Harikatha. So now, similarly, this Prachetas are also saying, Parijate Anjasa Labdhe Sarango Anyanna Sevate. When this bumblebee, Saranga, that goes to a flower, it gets little honey. But when the bumblebee gets a Parijata flower that has unlimited quantities of honey, Anyanna Sevate, the bee does not have to go to some other flower. The bee can put a straw inside the Parijata flower and start sucking all the honey. Okay.
Similarly, tadandhrimoolam asadhya sakshat kim kim vrinimahi. Once we take your shelter, once we get this unlimited boon from you, we don't have to pray for anything material. So because you are unlimited, you have unlimited capacity to give boons, and because we are Saranga, we know the essence, we are essence seekers, we can ask something which is unlimited from you so that we don't have to run behind any temporary boons anymore. This is the intelligent expression of the desire of Prachetas. Now from 33rd shloka till 46th shloka, Prachetas start asking their benedictions. 33rd shloka, very interesting. Yavatte mayaya sprishta bharamama iha karmabhi तावद् भवत् प्रसंगानां संगस्यान्नो भवे भवे यावत्ते मायया स्पृष्टा. Oh Krishna, oh Vishnu, because of your maya we may have to go from one body to another body, one universe to another universe, one species to another species. We don't mind. Bhramama iha karma bhi, let it happen. But tavat bhavat prasanganam sangasyanno bhave bhave, wherever we go, we just want the association of your devotees. We don't want anything else. Something similar, many people prayed. Just now, just I think yesterday or day before yesterday, we were discussing. Lord Shiva also prayed for the same thing. Oh Lord, if at all you want to give me any benediction, better give me the association of devotees. That's the best benediction. Everything else is Yehobahya. Same thing Prithu Maharaj said, same thing Dhruva Maharaj said. Even he, who is that, Lord, our Parikshit Maharaj, right in the first canto he said, Punascha bhuyad bhagavatyanante ratihi prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam yam upayami srishtim maitriyastu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. So, if at all I have to take birth again, it is love for you, devotion for you, and the association of devotees. And of course, some compassionate spirit to enlighten others also to come to your Krishna Bhakti. So these are the worthy benedictions asked by great devotees. Even Sudama florist also. When Krishna and Balaram were touring Mathura city, when they came to this Sudama florist, he asked the same thing. Oh Lord, I don't want anything else. All I want is association of your devotees and opportunity to render you service. Okay. So Prachetas are saying the same thing in the 33rd shloka. Yavatte mayaya sprishta bhramama iha karma bhi. What does that mean? Iha karma bhi bhramama. Because of our activities, we may wander in this material universe. No problem. That means they are not asking for liberation. Oh Krishna, please liberate us from bhakti. Liberate us from this material world. That's not their prayer. If you want to keep us in this material world, no problem. We'll stay here, but give us association of devotees. That's what they are saying. Narayana para sarve nakutaschana vibhyati swarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshinaha. So whether it is swarga or apavarga or naraka, devotees of Narayana, devotees of Krishna, they just are not bothered about that. So further, we see Tavat bhavat prasanganam sangasyanno bhave bhave. We want the association of your devotees. We are not even bothered about getting a human form. Even in a non-human form also, if we get the association of your devotees, that's sufficient. So this is the humility and intelligence of a devotee. Devotee is humble. He doesn't ask for any benedictions of even liberation. But devotee is intelligent also. How is he intelligent? So in the name of rejecting all benedictions, he is asking for an unlimited benediction, association of devotees. Why association of devotees? What is so special about it? Now they are saying, repeating the words of Lord Shiva, their Guru. Tolayamala venapi nasvargam napunarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutasishaha. Take a tula, a balance. On one side, you put svarga and apunarbhava or apavarga, means heaven and liberation. On the other side, tulayama, lavenapi, take lavamatra sadhu sangha, take a moment of association of devotees. This will weigh more than that. The ultimate results of karma path and jnana path are insignificant in comparison to a small element of bhakti path. This is the best benediction we can ask, pure devotees association. So, Prabodhananda Saraswati also said, Kaivalyam narakayate tridashapurakasha pushpayate Durdanta indriya kala sarpa patali proktahadam shtrayate Vishwam purna sukhayate vidhimahendradischa kitayate Yat karunya kataksha vaibhavavatam tam gaurave vastubha Kaivalyam narakayate. Liberation is like naraka. Naraka means hell for a devotee. Tridashagur akasha pushpayate. All the heavenly enjoyment is like flowers that are growing in sky. Will flowers fall from sky, grow in sky? And in Pushabhishek time you may throw flowers above and they may fall back, but flowers don't grow in sky. Okay. Basically the material happiness promised in this material world is just false or temporary. Okay, so that kind of temporary happiness is never the aspiration of a devotee. So then a pure devotee does not place much value in the destination of karmis and jnanis. Confused and frustrated inhabitants of material world may find highest happiness in Vaishnava Sangha. Fine. Now, a devotee can be found in any species. Here the Prachetas are saying that they are not even saying make us devatas or keep us in human life only, not any other life. So once we are fixed in devotional service, even species does not matter. Of course, in one sense, of all the species of life, human life is the best. We understand that. But that doesn't mean that non-human species are hated by devotees. Okay. You see, Vyadhasya charanam dhruvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka kubjaya kimunama rupamadhikam kim tatsudam nodhanam vamshah ko vidurasya yadavapater ugrasya kim paurusham bhaktya tushyati kevalam na chagunai bhakti priyo madhava Vyadhasya acharanam. What is the acharana? Acharana means behavior or etiquette of this Vyadha, Dharma Vyadha, a hunter. Dhruvasya chavayo. What is the age of Dhruva? Little boy, 5-year-old child. Passionate, Kshatriya kid. Dhruvasya chavayo. Vidya gajendrasya ka. What is the great qualification of Gajendra? What is the education of Gajendra? Vidya gajendrasya ka kubja yakimu nama rupamadhikam kim tatsudham nodhanam. What is the beauty of Kubja? She was a hunchback woman. Sudama, what is the wealth of Sudama? He is not a very wealthy person. He is such a poor person who cannot even cover his body with sufficient cloth. So Kubja yakimu nama rupamadhikam kim tatsudham nodhanam Vamshah ko vidurasya yadavapater ugrasya kim paurusham. What is the great Vamsha of Vidura? He is born as a Dasi Putra. And Ugrasya kim paurusham. What is the great valor or courage or strength of Ugrasen? Ugrasen could not even control his son Kamsa. He was arrested by his own son Kamsa. Namesake he is king. But Krishna had to come, 10-year-old boy had to come and then reinstate him as in the position of a king. Ugrasya kim paurusham. So all these examples show that one's external situation is not so great, is not so much relevant in getting the mercy of the Lord. Anybody can become an object of Krishna's mercy, whether it is an elephant or a child or a hunchback woman or a person who is born in Sudra community or an outcast or a hunter or a weak thing. So anybody can become an object of Krishna's mercy. Why? Bhaktya tushyati kevalam na chagunai bhakti priyo madhava. The Lord is pleased only with bhakti. Bhaktya tushyati kevalam. Only means, kevalam means only. So only bhakti can please the Lord, not anything else, not external qualifications. So that's why these devotees are very kindly intelligently praying only for devotees association. May we be in the association of devotees. We don't want anything else. So further, what is the glory of association? Why they are asking specifically for association, Sangha? So the glory is, there is constant discussion about Krishna in that association. What is the proof? Krishna himself said in Bhagavad Gita, Machitta vadgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mamnityam tushyanti charavanti cha. Devotees are those people who constantly discuss Krishna Katha amongst themselves. If you get the association of devotees, you go in their association and nourish yourself with their spiritual sound vibration. That's the greatest ecstasy of a devotee. Yatredyante kathamrushtaha Trishnayaha prashamo yataha. 35th sloka. Nirvairam yatra bhuteshu nodvego yatra kaschana yatra idyante kathamrushtaha. In the association of devotees, there is constant Harikatha. And by exposing ourselves to that Harikatha, what will happen? Trishnayaha prashamo yatha. All our Trishnas, material hankerings will be diminished. Then nirvairam yatra bhuteshu, and we will not have any enmity towards others. What is the proof that we have sufficiently heard Harikatha? We don't have enmity towards others. What is the proof that our hearing is good, our Shravanam process is good? We don't hate anybody. We may disagree with someone, that's fine. It's natural. We may disagree, but we don't disrespect. We may not like the ways and means in which people work. They have their style and we have our style, but we don't hate anybody. We don't envy anybody. We don't hold any deep-rooted negative towards anyone. So that non-enviousness is the proof that we have heard Krishna Katha nicely. Yatra idyante kathamrishtaha trishnayaha prashamo yatha. Nirvairam yatra bhuteshu. Nirvairam. No vaira. And no dvego yatra kaschana. No anxiety. Okay, no anxieties in the mind. Yeah, devotee can take anxiety, but anxiety is to serve Krishna. Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini, they are constantly in anxiety. Why? Because they are little kids, Krishna and Balram, they were crawling and they were touching monkeys, they were touching the tails of calves, they were touching swords, they would want to touch fire, they want to touch peacocks. So they may harm themselves. That's why they are in anxiety. A devotee is in tremendous anxiety in serving Krishna, but devotee has no anxiety on a material plane. The anxiety is how to complete the service of Krishna nicely, okay? How to protect Krishna's interests. So that much anxiety devotee can have. Fine. So next. And when we chant Krishna's names and when we discuss Harikatha, then we are in Vaikuntha. What does Krishna say? Naham tishtami Vaikunthe sadhunam hridayeshu va yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tishtami narada. So I don't stay in the Vaikuntha. I don't stay in the hearts of sadhus. I stay in a place where my devotees are constantly glorifying me. Of course, we should not take it so literally. Lord stays in Vaikuntha also. Lord stays in sadhus' hearts also. He himself said, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tuham. What does that mean? He stays in the hearts of sadhus and sadhu stays in his heart. But here to emphasize how much he is excited and how eager he is to hear Harikatha, to be in a place where devotees are discussing Harikatha, he says this. Hare Krishna, you're able to hear me? Everything is frozen here. Yeah. So the Lord likes to hear Harikatha. Some of these shlokas we need to see what is the emphasis and what is the spirit in which the shlokas are spoken. If you take the meaning literally, then we'll end up thinking that, oh, Lord is not there in Vaikuntha. Lord is not there in the hearts of sadhus. We should not take it so literally. Next, further, we discussed three effects of Harikatha. What are they? One is Trishnayaha prashamo yatha. We will not have any material hankerings. Second is, what is second? Envy. We will not have any envy towards others. Narayana Sakshat. So, in a place where devotees are discussing Harikatha, Narayana, Krishna directly stays there. Bhagavan Nyasinam Gatihi, that Narayana is destination of all. More than order of renunciation in Bhagavad Gita. So here Nyasi can be anybody who may not be in saffron clothes also. Okay, so one who is detached from material things. He is a sannyasi, as good as sannyasi. So yatra Narayana sakshat Bhagavan Nyasinam gatihi samstuyate satkathasu mukta sangaihi punaha punaha. So the Lord is personally present in a place where devotees are doing kirtan. Samstuyate, they are doing stuti, they are praising the Lord. Satkathasu. Satkatha means good topics about the Lord. All the topics of the Lord are good, but there are bad topics also, materialistic topics, prajalpa. So when we are engaging our minds and ears and tongues in Satkatha, we are close to Krishna. But when we do it in Kukatha, then we will end up in hell. Who said this? Brahma said this. What did he say? In the third canto, 15th chapter, when Brahma was describing the glories of Vaikuntha, he says, Yannavrajantyaghabido rachananuvada shrinvanti yenya vishaya kukathamatighnehi yastu shruta hata bhagay nrubhyartasara tam kshipantya saranesha tamassuhanta. Kukatha matighni, if we allow kukatha, materialistic topics to enter our ear holes, matighni, our intelligence gets corrupted and one will end up in hell. Yastu shruta hata bhagayantu bhirartha sara. Such people are thrown into hell perpetually. Not that anyone hates them to throw them into hell. Basically, they themselves will enter hell because they corrupt their intelligence due to this mentality of hearing bad topics, gossip, unnecessary gossip. So, what is the use of wasting our valuable time in topics that are not related to Krishna? Okay, we can have some light-hearted conversations also. We may share realizations, not that we are always in a philosophical note, very grave, no smile on the face. Not exactly like that. Devotees also have very light-hearted conversations and they smile, they have fun in life, but it's all spiritual fun. Okay, but one will not overload one's brain or mind or intelligence with bad topics filled with anxieties, material anxieties of, see, our anxiety increases to the degree our topics of discussion are negative. But if we are speaking something positive and spiritual, then the material anxieties will not touch us. Okay. So 30th sloka is over. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Devataihi Samatvena Iva Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavedhruvam. Okay, next 37th sloka. Tesham vicharitam padbhyam tirthanam pavanichhaya bhitasya kim na rocheta tavakanam samagamaha. So in the 37th sloka, Prachetas are speaking the nature of devotees. Tesham vicharitam padbhyam tirthanam pavanechaya. Your devotees go from one place to another place. Your devotees can purify even holy places. Tirthanam pavana ichaya. Tirtha is a holy place. Pavana means to purify. When devotees go from one place to another place, they purify all the places and they purify even tirthasthans also. In the tirthasthans, in the holy places, take their holy baths and dump their sins there. And all the holy rivers and holy places accumulate the sins of all the sinful people. So when devotees visit those places, devotees take bath in holy rivers, then the holy rivers are purified from all the accumulated sins. Just like Bhagirathi, Bhagirath prayed that Ganga, please come down and deliver my forefathers. Then Ganga said, okay, I can come, I have no issue, but I have two concerns. I come with great force from above. Who will tolerate my force? Then Bhagirath said, hey, Shiva will take care, don't worry. I'll request him. Then second concern, when I come to your earthly planet, then what happens is sinful people take bath in my waters and they dump their sins. What should I do? What will happen to me? Should I accumulate all those sins? Then Bhagirath said, don't worry, when devotees take bath in your waters, you will automatically be purified of all the accumulated sins. So, next 38th shloka, they are saying, so Prabhupada writes, elaborates on this point. In the first canto also there is this shloka, Bhavad Vida Bhagavata Hatirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthe Kurvanti Tirthani Swanta Hastena Gada Bhrita. So, Bhavad Vida Bhagavata. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj was glorifying Vidura and he says that people like you, devotees like you, can purify even holy places of pilgrimage. Okay. So everyone should take advantage of this wandering devotees. Their only business is to deliver conditioned souls from the clutches of Maya. 38th shloka. After glorifying the devotees, Prachetas are saying which devotee has benefited them the most. They are expressing their gratitude to Lord Shiva. 38th shloka. Vayam tu sakshat bhagavan bhavasya प्रियस्य सख्युः क्षणसङ्गमेन सुदुश्चिकित्सस्य भवस्य मृत्योर्भिषक्तमानं त्वाद्य गतिं गता स्म वयं तु साक्षात् भगवन् भवस्य. My dear Vishnu, today we are standing in front of you taking your darshan only because of a moment's association of Lord Shiva. 10,000 years back, Lord Shiva taught them Rudra Gita. How much time it takes to Rudra Gita? How much time do we take to chant Rudra Gita? We discussed it in about 2 hours or 2.5 hours in our classes, but you see the shlokas from 33rd shloka till I think 64 or something like that, around 30 shlokas. How much time it takes to recite 30 shlokas? 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Basically, Shiva did not give a long purport to all these shlokas. He came, taught them, and went away. So, the association that the Prachetas received from Shiva is very brief. Say 10 minutes. But for 10,000 years, they are benefited by that association. They got guidance of 10,000 years. And now they are remembering that few minutes that Shiva had spent with us. Now they are saying 1 minute here, not 1 minute, moment. Kshana Sangamena. Kshana Sangama means a moment's association of a devotee. Even a moment's association of a devotee is so beneficial. Today, 10,000 years down the line, we are getting your darshan. All this is because of Lord Shiva. Very important point that we need to note here is a devotee is always grateful. Devotee is extremely grateful. Even for the small favor done by other devotees. Now, 10,000 years back, Shiva must have given 10 minutes to Prachetas, and Prachetas are remembering that even while standing in front of Lord Vishnu. Vaikuntha airplane came to take Dhruva to Vaikuntha. Dhruva boarded the airplane. And what did he say? I will not go to Vaikuntha now. I want to jump off from the airplane. So what happened? We are taking you to Vaikuntha. No, I cannot go because my mother is not there. 36,000 years back, my mother taught me about Krishna Bhakti, Vishnu Bhakti. Only because of her inspiration, my mother's guidance, today I am going to Vaikuntha. Otherwise, how will I go to Vaikuntha? So how can I go to Vaikuntha without my mother? He wanted to jump off. So on his way to Vaikuntha, he was overwhelmed with gratitude for mother because she gave spiritual inspiration. In front of Lord Vishnu, Prachetas are overwhelmed with gratitude for Shiva, who gave them the inspiration in bhakti. In front of Narasimhadev, Prahalad, 5-year-old child, he became overwhelmed with gratitude for Narada Muni, his guru. So, in this way, we see from the examples of several exalted personalities that gratitude towards great souls, towards devotees, is a very, very important aspect of our devotional service. So, of all types of disgraceful behavior, ingratitude is the worst. Okay, we can't just afford to be ungrateful to people who have contributed in our bhakti in various ways, directly or indirectly. We cannot expect gratitude. We can't say, you should be thankful to me. You know how much I have done for you. That we can't say. But when others have done something, even small thing for us, for our advancement in bhakti, we need to be grateful to them. Okay, that gratitude is the characteristic of great devotee. Next, Prachetas are further saying, you remember in the beginning of the class we discussed one prayer. The Prachetas prayed for the satisfaction of the Lord. Now they are continuing that discussion now in the 39th and 40th shlokas. Yannaha, I will not recite all the shlokas. So here Prachetas are saying that all our spiritual assets are just for your satisfaction. We don't have anything else to gain by whatever we have in our Vedic studies, our non-enviousness, our austerities, our relatives, everything. All our assets, spiritual assets, are meant for completely your satisfaction. So 41st shloka they are saying that, O Lord, we offered prayers to you according to our ability. Although we are unable to offer prayers, but somehow by your grace we managed to offer these prayers. Even our ability to offer prayers to Krishna comes from Krishna. You see in Dhruva's episode, Dhruva wanted to offer prayers to the Lord, okay, as soon as he saw the Lord. But Dhruva is a little child, 5-year-old boy, he does not have the necessary vocabulary or experience or poetic abilities to compose prayers on his own. Lord Vishnu understood his awkward situation and he took the conch shell and put it on his head. Then immediately all the essence of Vedic knowledge has been revealed to Dhruva, and Dhruva offered eloquent prayers that we are reciting even now. So in those 10-12 prayers, Dhruva reveals the essence of entire Vedic knowledge. What are the right aspirations of a pure devotee? Dhruva's prayers reveal that. So how can a 5-year-old child, just in 6 months of austerities, develop this much knowledge and realization by the touch of Krishna's conscience? So the essence, the knowledge is, the conclusion is, our ability to offer prayers to Krishna also comes from Krishna. Okay, 42nd shloka. They are concluding their prayers. Namaha samaya shuddhaya purushaya paraya cha vasudevaya sattvaya tubhyam bhagavate namaha. Namaha samaya, O Lord, you are equal to everyone. Shuddhaya, you are never contaminated, you are always pure. Purushaya, you are the supreme person. Paraya, transcendental. Vasudevaya, you are living everywhere, all pervading. Sattvaya, you are in pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. We offer our respects to you. So they concluded their prayers by summarizing the Lord's glories. Now the Lord smiled at them. Whatever he had to speak, he spoke to Prachetas even before they offered their prayers. So now the Lord just went away. Very interesting moment in this whole story. Maitreya uvacha, 43rd shloka. Iti prachetobhir abhishtuto hari प्रीतस्तथेत्याह शरण्यवत्सलः अनिच्छतां यानमतृप्तचक्षुषां ययौ स्वधर्मानपवर्ग्य वीर्यः. So in this way Prachetas praised Lord Hari, and the Lord is described as Sharanyavatsala, one who is very affectionate to anybody who takes his sharan. He is Sharanyavatsala. Very clear. But he left that place. Anichhatam yanam atripta chakshusham. The eyes of Prachetas are not completely satisfied by seeing the Lord. They wanted to see him for a longer time. 10,000 years they performed austerities. 10 minutes also they did not get darshan. All the prayers that they chanted, they must have taken how much time? 10 minutes? We are discussing for 2-3 hours, but they must have chanted all these prayers without purports, whatever meanings, for whatever few minutes, 10-15 minutes, whatever it may be. So that much time only they got darshan. Lord came, they said, okay, these are my benedictions, and they said these are our prayers, and he left. Atripta chakshusham, Prachetas are longing, we want to see you more, but the Lord left. The reason that Acharyas give is that the Lord has unlimited devotees. He is not attached to anybody. He is attached, but he is not unduly attached. It's not like a material attachment. He is equally kind to innumerable devotees. The Lord left these devotees here and went away to bless other devotees. Okay, he is busy with another appointment there. Okay, so this is one reason given by the Acharyas. Then Prachetas came out of the water, and when they saw there were so many trees, because before the arrival of Prachetas only, Prachinbar he retired from his kingdom and he went to the forest. Now because of lack of proper administration by a king, there were trees that grew all over the planet, all over the land there. So Prachetas felt that if trees grow everywhere, how will we do agriculture? There should be some land for agriculture also. If the trees are filling everywhere, how will we get food grains? So that's why Prachetas wanted to clear that place. And they also became a little angry. So they started burning all the trees. They started emanating fire from their mouths, and they were burning all the trees. So then, to pacify them, Lord Brahma came there. In the 6th canto of Bhagavatam also this incident is described. It is mentioned there that moon, Soma god also came there and gave a counseling session. But anyways, many people, multiple devatas also can come. So they came, and then Brahma told her, don't burn the trees, don't burn all the trees. So they are needed for your citizen survival also. First you just get married, you marry this Marisha as the Lord told you, and you live peacefully. Then Prachetas married Marisha, and from them Daksha took birth. In the previous life, Daksha offended Lord Shiva, he got a goat head and he gave up that body, and again he took birth as the son of Prachetas. It's a kind of degradation. Initially he was the son of Brahma, now he became the son of Prachetas. Initially he was, in the past birth he was a Brahmana, now he became a Kshatriya. Okay. So Daksha created all the living beings for the Chakshusha Manvantara. Chakshusha Manvantara is 6th Manvantara, now they are in 1st Manvantara. What was Daksha doing all these years? All these Manvantras, 5 Manvantras, he was going and chanting. He was chanting Hamsaguhya prayers. So for 5 manvantras, we can discuss about him in the 6th canto, 4th chapter. Now we'll enter the next chapter. So in the next chapter, first section, first shloka, Prachetas ruled for thousands of years. How did they rule? What all has happened during their rule? Nothing is mentioned here. Directly the retirement is spoken by Maitreya. After ruling for thousands of years, Prachetas finally remembered the Lord's blessings and left home. They kept Marisha under Daksha's care and they left home. Then Prachetas went to the seashore. And at the seashore there was, before I begin the next chapter, anyone has any questions? It's 11:23 now. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Alexa Muji. Alexa.
Yes, Prabhu. I was just drinking water. Yeah.
Muji, in that holy places, you said that devotees that take bath and all the sins are taken away by the devotees. So, sins of all the other people who have taken bath. But we are not pure devotees, so should we take bath or we should not take bath?
So we take bath for our purification, and we take bath to honor these holy rivers because they are emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, or they assisted or facilitated the pastimes of the Lord. So our taking of bath is purification of our own selves and seeking devotional inspiration and honoring the rivers, their pure waters. Not exactly to dump our sinful reactions, that's not the mood, and definitely not with an intention to purify the holy rivers. Okay, even if we happen to be pure, we don't think we'll purify Ganga, we'll purify Yamuna. Right? Let's purify ourselves. And the purification is not just purification from sinful reactions, purification of all material desires, sinful proclivities, so that we engage in the service of the Lord. We are seeking the blessings of Yamuna, blessings of Ganga, so that we can serve Krishna nicely. Okay, Prabhu.
So these sins will not catch us if we are bathing in the river?
It all depends on the consciousness. It depends on the consciousness of the person. If the person is desirous of just getting inspiration in devotional service and honoring the rivers, how can sin catch them? Okay. Next, any other question? Okay, shall I go to the next chapter? So Prachetas retired from the kingdom after thousands of years of rule, and they came on the seashore and they started associating with Jajali Muni. So Jajali Muni is not very much discussed in Bhagavatam. Maybe at one or two places only his name comes. But point is not that we always have to associate with only well-known personalities in our devotional service. It's not that we always associate with some celebrities and well-known personalities, popular people. So at that moment, whoever is helping us to be in good consciousness and serve Krishna, so that association which uplifts us in our spiritual consciousness is worth taking. Okay. So next. So when the Prachetas retired and nicely serving Lord Vasudeva, Narada Muni came there. And Narada Muni is a great personality, as you know. He is worshipped by both devatas and demons alike. He is a universal and transcendental spaceman. So Prachetas became so overwhelmed with gratitude and happiness that they got to see Narada Muni after their retirement. So they immediately wanted to take association of Narada Muni by hearing some spiritual instructions from him. So Prabhupada writes in the third purport that a perfect Vaishnava's position should be like Narada Muni's. He is completely independent but always dependent on the Lord, and is always unbiased. He can enlighten anybody. He can become the guru of a demon child, Prahlad, and make him a pure devotee. He can become the guru of a passionate, ambitious Kshatriya kid, Dhruva, and make him a pure devotee. He can enlighten Haryashvas and Savalasvas, 11,000 sons of Daksha, an arrogant father. And he can even attempt to go to Daksha to enlighten him also, but Daksha never took that advantage. Okay, he can become the guru of Priyavrata Maharaj also. So in this way, Narada Muni is completely unbiased, and his only intention is to always uh, serve the Lord by bringing as many souls as possible to the Lord's lotus feet. Now, Prachetas in their final days, they got the fortune of associating with Narada Muni. So, Prachetas immediately got up as soon as they saw Narada Muni as a respectful gesture. They offered a seat to Narada Muni. Please sit here. Please tell us some spiritual truths. So they first glorified Narada Muni in the fifth shloka. They said, "Oh Narada Muni, you are like the sun. Just like sun is all pervading, you are also all pervading. You can go anywhere. Just like sun removes all darkness and fear that comes along with darkness, you also remove all the material fears by enlightening us, by providing us the sunshine of inspiration in bhakti. By traveling like a sun, people are relieved from the fear of darkness of night. Similarly, your traveling is like sun's traveling, for you drive away all kinds of fear." So this is the glory of a guru, spiritual master. He disperses the darkness of ignorance. During the night, thieves and rogues are very prominent, and people in the villages and cities, they are afraid that some thieves may come and then steal our property. But during the daytime, thieves' fear is not so much there. Yeah, people who are bent upon stealing can steal during the daytime also, but generally, traditionally, thieves will go in the night time because everybody would sleep, right? So now during the daytime, that fear of thieves is not there. Similarly, in the presence of a pure devotee, fear of Maya is not there, because pure devotee always inspires us to take shelter of Krishna. What does Krishna say? Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. My maya is very, very extremely difficult to surpass, but if you take shelter of bhakti, my shelter, you can easily surpass. And the inspiration to take shelter of Krishna is provided to all of us by devotees. That's why the association of devotees is very important. Bhakti is best practiced in the Sangha of devotees. So Prachetas become extremely grateful for Narada Muni's presence there. He can disperse any anxiety brought about by material ignorance. Sixth shloka. The Prachetas are humbly saying that, "Oh Narada Muni, we have been kindly instructed by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, such a wonderful Vaishnava, taught us Rudra Gita, but we forgot it. And Lord Vishnu personally gave us his darshan some thousands and thousands of years back, and he blessed us, but we forgot the instructions of Vishnu also." Of course, there is an element of humility here, not that they have literally forgotten everything. So they were humbly saying, somehow we became so attached to our family life and too much absorbed in sense gratification. So please enlighten us with transcendental knowledge again and remind us of all the good instructions given to us by Shiva and Vishnu. See, Prachetas had the track record of associating with Shiva and Vishnu, although it is a brief time, but still they had that track record. Now they are associating with Jajali Muni. Then finally they have also got the association of Narada Muni. So in this way, Prachetas are always nourishing themselves by the association of the Lord and his devotees. So now in the seventh shloka, Prachetas requested Narada Muni, please enlighten us in spiritual knowledge. And that spiritual knowledge would act as a transcendental torchlight that saves us from the darkness of material existence. Okay, this is how one should beg one's Guru. Oh Guru, please give me inspiration, transcendental inspiration to practice bhakti. We don't want to waste our human life in this way. So then Prabhupada writes very beautifully in the purport, the real purpose of meeting a saint. Everyone should be interested in getting out of material clutches and approach a saintly person to be enlightened in this connection and not bother him to get blessings for material enjoyment. Oh, Sadhu Maharaj, please bless us, please bless us. So one day somebody approached Prabhupada for blessings. And Prabhupada called some of his disciples who had shaved heads and said, if you take my blessings, you'll become like him. Are you ready? Then they ran away. So people want blessings in a very customized way, personalized way, to fulfill their specific material desires, not spiritual desires. So now Narada Muni started enlightening Prachetas in his own way. From 8th shloka onwards, we see the beautiful teachings of Narada Muni. So Maitreya Muni is saying, Iti prachetasam prushto bhagavan narado munihi bhagavatyuttama shloka avishtamam avistatma bravindripan. So iti prachetasam prushto, as the prachetas requested Narada Muni in this way, Narada Muni started responding. How did he respond? Bhagavati Uttama Shloka Avistatma Bravin. Bhagavati is the Supreme Lord. He is also called Uttama Shloka because he is glorified in choicest poetry. Avishta Atma Abravin means his Atma or his mind or heart is completely absorbed. Avishta means to completely get sucked in, absorbed in. Avishtatma. So his mind is absorbed in Bhagavan, Abraveen. With that absorption of consciousness, he started speaking. He spoke as follows. Fine. So a devotee, when he speaks in Krishna consciousness. He doesn't speak anything material, and his consciousness is absorbed in Krishna as he is speaking. Of course, in sadhaka level, that much absorption in Krishna may not manifest, but speaking Krishna Katha in sadhaka stage is an opportunity for us to absorb in Krishna consciousness. Okay? So, either we are practicing to absorb ourselves in Krishna consciousness or we have perfected it, one of them. One day, many years back, at least 10, 12 years back, I was in VTA days, 2008 or 9 or 10, I think. So at the time, I think 2011, I was asked to give first Bhagavatam class in the temple, GEV. Hardly anyone was there. So I was hesitating, and it was Hindi class also. I said, I don't know Hindi. I thought I released the Brahmastra by saying that I don't know Hindi, I cannot speak in Hindi. And the scheduler released another Brahmastra. You can speak in English. You don't have to speak in Hindi. So then finally I had to speak. I was not confident, I never did that. But I remembered one statement made by Yugal Kishore Prabhu. You know Yugal Kishore Prabhu? So once I was appreciating his class, he gave one class, and when I was saying that, he said, see, giving class doesn't mean that we are great. Giving class is an opportunity for me to become Krishna conscious for that 1 hour. At least 1 hour I can't be spaced out. I can just focus on Krishna's glories. So it's an opportunity for us to become Krishna conscious. So we need to see giving classes are just speaking opportunities in bhakti as opportunities to increase our bhakti, or if one happens to have a lot of bhakti, that is an opportunity for the hearers to see the bhakti. Okay, like that. So when exalted devotees are giving classes, they are exhibiting their bhakti and their devotional consciousness will definitely touch our hearts. So that's like one of the most important qualifications to speak Bhagavatam. Like uh, if we speak from heart, it touches the hearts of people. If we speak from our intelligence, it definitely touches the intelligence of people. If we speak on an emotional plane, okay, that may catch someone's emotions. Okay, so similarly, if Krishna is there in our mind and hearts and intelligence, then what comes out is Krishna only. So we need to invite Krishna into our mind and heart and intelligence, so that something spiritual comes out of it, and the hearers get that spiritual inspiration, spiritual connection with Krishna. Okay. So, anyways, Narada Muni is speaking with Bhagavati Uttama Shloka Avishta Atma Abraveen. He has absorbed his consciousness in Bhagavan, and with that devotion within his mind, he started speaking. Okay. He's also called Bhagavan here, Bhagavan Narada. Because he's absorbed in the thoughts of Bhagavan, he's called Bhagavan Narada. One reason, Prabhupada writes. So Bhagavan basically means Bhagavan, one who possesses opulence. He has the opulence of, what is the possession of Narada? What is the opulence of Narada? His devotion to Krishna. The greatest wealth a devotee can have is love for Krishna. And when he speaks, he exhibits that love for Krishna. Krishna's pastimes are very sweet, but when a devotee who loves Krishna narrates those pastimes, they appear much sweeter, more sweet. Okay, so one must possess either all opulences of Bhagavan or possess Bhagavan himself. Then he can be called Bhagavan. So 9th shloka, Narada Muni begins. Tajjanmatani karmani tadayustanmano vachaha nrinam yena hi vishvatma sevyate haririshvaraha. Tajjanma tani karmani. Very interesting shloka. Janma is birth, karma is activities. Then tadayu, span, lifespan. Tan mano, one's mind. Vachaha, one's words. Dranam yena hi vishwatma sevate haririsvaraha. All these things are purified only when we have the intention to serve Lord Hari. So when we are inclined to serve Lord Hari, then we perfect our janma, karma, ayu, mana and vacha. Otherwise, we just end up wasting them. All these faculties which can effectively be utilized in Krishna service. So now we will go to the next shloka. Kim janmabhistribhirveha saukra savitra yagnikaihi karmabhirva trayi proktaihi pumsopi vibudhayusha. Now Narada Muni is saying that Kim janmabhir tribhirveha. What is the use of 3 births? What is this 3 births? Basically, a civilized human being takes birth from parents. Second, takes second birth when he is initiated by Guru. Third birth when he is initiated into sacrificing, performing Vedic sacrifices, traditionally speaking. So, one is material birth, second is spiritual birth. Okay, spiritual birth also has 2 phases. Okay, so all these births, 2 births or 3 births, whatever, can be made effective only when we dovetail our activities in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, however exalted one may be, one just ends up wasting one's human life. Chandalopi dvijasreshto haribhakti parayanaha haribhakti vihinascha dvijopi sopachadhamaha. Very beautiful shloka that Acharyas quote here. Chandalopi dvijasreshto. Even if one is born as a Chandala, he is better than a Dvija if he is Haribhakti Parayana. But Haribhakti Vihinascha, if one does not have Haribhakti, Dvijopi Swapacha Adhamaha. Even a Dvija, Brahmana also becomes inferior to a Chandala or a dog eater. So even he says, Prahalad Maharaj says in the 9th canto, his prayers, what does he say? विप्राद्विषड्गुणयुतात् अरविन्दनाभम् पादारविन्दविमुखात् स्वपचं वरिष्ठम् मन्ये तदर्पितमनोवचने हितार्था प्राणं पुनाति सकुलं न तु भूरिमानः. So a Vipra may have Dvishad Gunayuta, means may have 2 into 6, 12 great qualifications like cleanliness, austerity, Vedic education, etc. etc. Okay, he may have all that, but if he is Padara Vinda Vimukhat, if he is averse to a sense of subordination to the lotus feet of Krishna, Swapacham Varishtham, a dog eater is better than him. Why? If a dog eater takes to bhakti, manye tvadarpita manovachane hitartha, by dedicating one's mind, intelligence and ego and all activities to serve Krishna, a dog eater or a person who is born in dog eater's family can purify himself, purify his entire dynasty. But without devotion, a Vipraha cannot even purify himself, what to speak of dynasty. He cannot. So that's what is spoken here. Then 11th shloka. Shrutena tapasa vakim vachobhischittavrittibhihi buddhya vakim nipunaya balenendriya radhasa. Shrutena tapasa vakim. What is the use of your Shruti? Vedic education. Tapasa, your austerity. Austerity. He says, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur often quotes this shloka. आराधितो यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम, नाराधितो यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम, अंतर्बहिर्यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम, नांतर्बहिर्यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम. What is the use of your tapasya if you are serving Hari? And what is the use of your tapasya if you are forgetting Hari? Okay, basically remembering Hari is most important. So, Srutena tapasa vakim, then vachobhischitta vrittibhi, your vacha, your power of speech, eloquence, what is the use of that? Chitta vrittibhi, your mental imagination or creativity, speculation, that's of no use. Buddhya, your intelligence has no use. Kimva nipunaya, your expertise in doing many things is also of no use. Balenendriya radhasa, your bodily strength and sensual power, all are useless if you are not a devotee. Prabhupada says that. Narada Muni says that. So Prabhupada analyzes this whole shloka and systematically describes the futility of Vedic study, futility of austerities, futility of power of speech, futility of mental speculation, futility of intelligence, futility of strong senses without bhakti. Okay, you can go through this purport, elaborate and interesting purport. Now 12th shloka, continuing the same theme, Narada Muni says, Kim va yogena sankhena nyasasvadhyayayorapi Kim va shreyoabhiranyaischa nayatratma prado harihi. Kim va yogena sankhena. What is the way of your yoga? Sankhya, analytical study, and yoga is mystic yoga. Nyasa swadhyayayorapi. Nyasa means renunciation. Swadhyaya means Vedic study. They are useless. Kim va shreyoabhiranyaischa. What is the use of other auspicious activities and rituals and all? They are also not of much use. They are also not so useful. Nayatratma prado harihi. If they do not help you realizing Lord Hari, they are useless. Here Lord Hari is described in a very, very unique way. Atma prado harihi. Atma prada means one who gives Atma. What is giving the Atma? We are Atmas. So the Lord Hari is considered Atma prada here because one who reinstate us in the original job profile of Atma, if you take his shelter. One who reinstates us in the original glory of Atma. Mahimnisve mahiyati. So he will keep us in our original constitutional position if we take his shelter. Okay, that's why he is called Atma Prado Harihi. So 13th shloka. Shreyasamapi sarvesham atma yavadhir arthatah Sarveshamapi bhutanam harir atmatmadaha priyaha. 13th shloka. Shreyasamapi sarvesham, of all the kinds of shreyas, auspicious activities, atma hi avadhir arthataha. The jivatma is the factual goal and destination. Okay, basically realizing oneself, that's what it means. So self-realization is the best activity that we can perform of all kinds of activities. Sarveshamapi bhutanam harihi atmatmadaha priyaha. So the Supreme Lord Hari is the Atma of all Atmas. Atmanam akhilatmanam. He gives himself to Atma, to the living being. So only our connection with Krishna, our worship of the Supreme Lord Krishna is the real engagement of a living being. So further Narada Muni says, Yatha taror mula nishechadena trupyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha प्राणोपहाराच्च यथेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वार्हणमच्युतेज्य यथा तरोर्मूलनिषेचनेन. So watering the root energizes all the leaves and twigs and flowers and fruits of a big tree, isn't it? We have to water the root. Yatha tarormoolanishechanena. We can't sprinkle water on the leaves and twigs and expect the tree to grow nicely. So, tripyanti tat skanda bhujopashakha. All the leaves and twigs and flowers and fruits will automatically get nourished. Tripyanti, if the root is watered. So, similarly, Krishna is the root of our entire existence. If you worship Krishna, automatically all the devatas will be satisfied. Somebody may have a question or an argument. Okay, I will worship Krishna and I will also worship Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all of them also I will worship. I can water the root, I can sprinkle some water on the leaves also, twigs also, branches also. What's the problem? Someone may say that. My God, so much argument is coming. Then Narada Muni thinks of another example which establishes Krishna's worship as the supreme, while also establishing that if you are worshipping Krishna, worshipping others is not mandatory. You can respect them, honor them, but it's not mandatory. They are automatically satisfied. So he says that with the next example. What is this example? Pranopaharatha yathendriyanam. So pranopaharatha yatha indriyanam. If you supply food to the stomach, then all the bodily limbs are satisfied. Hands, legs, face, eyes, everything gets their strength if you supply food to the belly. Now there is no argument. He cannot say, I will supply food to belly also, I will supply food to hand, leg. I will take sambar and put it on my hand. I will put rice and put on my leg. I will pour gulab jamun juice on my head so that head becomes strong. So no one can say that. So we have to supply food only to the belly. So similarly, we have to worship Vishnu or Krishna only, and it's not necessary to worship anyone else. Of course, we should not disrespect anyone, dishonor any devata. So we must respect them, but it's not necessary to worship them as the Supreme Lord. Okay. So 15th shloka. यथैव सूर्यात् प्रभवन्ति वारः पुनश्च तस्मिन् प्रविशन्ति काले भूतानि भूमौ स्थिरजङ्गमानि तथा हराव एव गुणप्रवाहः. So yathaiva suryat prabhavanti varaha. So he gives a simple analogy here. Everything is generated from the Supreme Lord, prabhavanti. Everything is born from the Lord. Like water is generated from the sun. How can sun generate water? Yeah, sun generates water. It's monsoon season going on in India. Sun during the summer evaporates water from the surface of earth. And he gives back when the clouds are created, he gives back all that water that he has evaporated back in the form of rain. Okay, that's how sun generates water in monsoon season and evaporates the water in summer season. Similarly, living entities are generated from the earth and returned to the earth as dust. Not living entities as such, their bodies. We need to understand the context here. So bodies come out of the earth and they go back into earth. Further, 16th shloka, he gives two analogies. Sunshine analogy. The sunshine emanates from the sun, and in that way it is not different from the sun. Similarly, the universe comes out of the Lord and not different from the Lord. And the senses appear as part of body in the wake up state or sleep state. Similarly, the universe comes, sometimes appears and manifests, and sometimes unmanifest. Okay, just like the senses appear, manifest in the waking state and unmanifest in the sleep state. So our hands and legs are functioning so nicely when we are in the wake up state. Somebody is sleeping in the night, snoring. Hands are not moving, legs are not moving. Oh, the senses are sleeping, senses are inactive. Senses have no power to act. One may think like that, but they are sleeping. They have that power. Similarly, the universe comes out of the Lord, and when the day of Brahma, lifetime of Brahma is finished, then the universe goes back into the Lord. But all the ingredients of the universe, all the power to function is existing in the universe, but in a dormant state during after the dissolution of the universe. Okay, but again it will be recreated. That is mentioned in the 16th shloka, and Prabhupada also writes Ajintya Bheda Bheda Tattva and all that. You can read the purport. Then 17th shloka. 17th shloka, he says the modes appear and disappear in the Lord. How? Clouds, darkness and light appear and disappear in the sky in succession. Isn't it? Night time there is darkness, daytime there is light, and clouds are there both during night and day. Similarly, the energies of Sattva, Rajas, Tama appear and disappear in the Lord. So, though the sun is beyond the clouds, the sun is the material cause of the clouds, and he remains unchanged. Similarly, the Lord is beyond the modes, but he is the cause of the modes in the sense that they are aspects of his material energy. Daivi Hiesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Krishna says it is my Maya, and my Maya is Gunamayi. My material energy is filled with modes. There are three qualities of Maya. They are Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. Okay. In that sense, modes also originate from Krishna. That's what is mentioned here. But Krishna is never controlled by modes or affected by modes. Next, we need to, and after understanding the glory of the Lord in this way, we need to satisfy him. 18th shloka. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes how Krishna is the original cause or remote cause of everything. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. All that you can study. I'm sorry I'm not covering so many purports, although I'm touching almost every shloka, because I'm giving a summary of the chapter more than going into details. 18th shloka. Tenaikamatmanamashesha dehinam kalam pradhanam purusham paresham svatejasa guna pravaham atmaika bhavena bhajadvamadham tenaikamatmanamashesha dehinam. So the Lord is one, the super soul of all living beings. Okay, Eka, Tenaikamatmanam, he is one Lord, but he is simultaneously present in the hearts of all living beings. Kalam Pradhanam Purusham Paresham, he is the remote and immediate cause, because without he being the cause, direct or indirect cause of the universe, nothing in the universe can exist. And by his energy only, this material universe manifests. By his energy only, we can escape this universe, which is just an arrangement of material modes. Svatejasa dhasta guna pravaham. By his tejasa, by his power, he can completely destroy the guna pravaha. What is pravaha? Flow. Pravaha means flow. Here is guna pravaha. In this material world, there is guna pravaha, the flow of material modes. He can obstruct that flow, destroy that flow when we take to bhakti. Chitraketu Maharaj says, Guna pravaha etasmin kahashapaha kunvanugraha When Mother Parvati cursed Chitraketu Maharaj, he said, Guna pravaha etasmin. Whatever is happening in this world, whether it is happiness or distress, heaven or hell, Swarga or Naraka, or Shapa, curse or blessing, all this is Guna pravaha. I am not bothered about it. Don't worry. I'll take your curse and go. You don't have to nullify your curse. He says that. So further, one more sloka is there. In the 5th canto, 19th chapter, Hanumanji offers prayers to Lord Ramachandra. He says, Yattadvishuddhanubhavamatrabekam svatejasa pratyak prashantam sudhiyopalambhanam hyanama rupam niraham prapadye. So, very beautiful shloka. Here Hanumanji is glorifying Ram like Svatejasa dhasta gunavyavastham. By his own powers, Lord Ramachandra can completely dismantle the organization of these gunas. Gunavyavastham. Gunas have created a vyavastha, a great arrangement in this world to run this material world. So he destroys it. Ram destroys it. Swatejasa, same thing is mentioned here. Swatejasa dhasta guna pravaham. There vyavastha is mentioned, this is pravaha. Okay. Atmaika bhavena bhajadvamadha. Therefore engage yourself in devotional service. You want to protect yourself from material modes? Better practice bhakti. This is what Narada Muni teaches. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. How to please the Lord? How to practice bhakti? 19th sloka Narada Muni says, very sweet sloka and short sloka also. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushtya yena kenava sarvendriyopashantya cha tushyatya sujanardanaha. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. Show mercy upon all living beings. Santushtya yena kenava. Be satisfied somehow or the other with whatever comes of its own accord. Don't hanker so much. Don't be so greedy. Then sarvendriya upashantyacha, and try to control your senses from sense enjoyment. Sarva indriya upashantyacha. Regulate the senses. Don't allow your senses to overindulge in sense objects. Tushyati asu janardanaha. In this way, Lord Janardana will be pleased. Okay. So we need to show mercy upon all living beings. Those who are actually learned, advanced in spiritual understanding, should preach Krishna consciousness all over the world and make life successful. Okay, Prabhupada writes, when one chants Hare Krishna loudly, not to disturb others, somebody is sleeping and says Hare Krishna and they won't be able to sleep. So now when Nagar Sankirtan is going on, and just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is traveling in Jharkhand forest, he loudly chanted Hare Krishna. Then he showed mercy upon all living entities, all the trees and plants, animals, insects, birds, everything, everybody got purified. So pure devotee can even go to hell to preach, Prabhupada says, Narayana Parasarve. The Lord is in the heart of even a hog, although he is in Vaikuntha. Even while preaching in hell, a pure devotee remains in constant association with the Lord. 20th sloka. So 20th sloka, Narada Muni describes the intimacy between the Lord and his devotees. So devotees are cleansed of all material desires and they are freed from all mental contamination. Amalatmani. They are constantly addressing the Lord very feelingly. Bhavanopahutaha. Okay. So devotees are very pure in their character and demeanor. In reciprocation with their approach, the Supreme Lord also is controlled by his devotees. Nija Jana Vasha. So he comes under the control of devotees. Evam Sandarshita Hyanga Harina Bhritya Vashyata. Svavashenapi Krishnena Yasyedam Seshwaram Vashi. By the control of Krishna, even the great controllers of this material world are controlled. But Krishna agrees or likes to be controlled by his devotees. In the Chaurashtakam, it is said that where are you running away? Oh, great! Labhasva he chaura hare. I forgot the line. Labhasva he chaura. I have obtained you finally. You have stolen everything from me. Dhanam cha manam cha tathendriyani. You have stolen everything from me. Now where are you running after stealing everything? Stay here. You stay here. I will deal with you. I'm going to bind you. See, when a thief steals something from us, what do? We bind him with ropes and we arrest him in a jail. Now in Chaurashtakam, I think Bilvamangal Thakur, he says that Krishna, you have stolen my dhanam, manam, indriya, everything you have taken away from me. You have taken my prana completely. So I am going to catch you, bind you and arrest you. I will bind you with the rope of my love and I will arrest you in the jail of my heart, prison of my heart. You can't run away. And how long I will arrest you and bind you like this? Forever. Be arrested here. So the Lord likes to be captivated by his devotees and be arrested within their hearts. And how does the Lord first enter into the heart of a devotee in the first place? He enters through ear holes. Pravishtaha karanarandhrena svanam bhavasaroruham. Dhunoti shadalam Krishna salilasya yathasharat. Krishna enters into the hearts of his devotees when devotees sincerely hear Harikatha. Okay. So, next. And even in first canto also, Dharma projita gaitra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vidyam vastavam atra vastu shabadam tapatrayon muralam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamani Krite kim va parair Ishvaraha sadyo hridi avarudhyate. So what is the use of any other literature? This literature can captivate Krishna and arrest Krishna within the hearts of sincere hearers of Bhagavatam. Okay. 21st sloka. The Lord's reciprocation. No material possessions a devotee has. A devotee is happy in just possessing bhakti, that is Atma Dhana, spiritual treasure. And the Lord also doesn't accept any worship from non-devotees because they are puffed up. They are puffed up of their Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, Shruta, Dhana, Kula, Karma of the materialistic people will increase the pride of these materialistic people, and their worship is not pleasing to the Lord. So in this way, Narada Muni continues to describe the glories of the Lord, and he concludes in the 22nd shloka. Prabhupada also writes in the 21st sloka about dangers of offense to pure devotee. So because devotees are so exalted and glorious like that, so we should be very careful in our dealings with the devotees. We should not offend a pure devotee. Example is Durvasa Muni offending Ambarish Maharaj. So 22nd, last shloka in Narada Muni's teachings. So he says that the Lord is self-sufficient, Svapuranaha, and he becomes dependent on his devotees. He says in Ambarish's episode, he says that he asvatantra ivadvijaha. I don't have swatantra. I am completely dependent on my devotees. And devotee does not even care for the Lord does not even care for goddess of fortune or kings or devatas. Which grateful person, Kritagna, will not worship the Lord? Okay. So with this, Narada Muni concludes his teachings, and Maitreya Muni would conclude his narration now. So Narada Muni, after teaching like this to Prachetas, he went to Brahmaloka. Maybe he has a class schedule there. So he went there. Then 24th sloka, he says that the Prachetas, after hearing from Narada Muni, performed their bhakti and eventually they attained the Lord's abode. So Maitreya Muni concludes. Thus, he concluded the dynasty of Uttanapada. Till now, Uttanapad's dynasty is being described by Maitreya Muni. So Swayambhu Manu had 5 children. 3 daughters are Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti, and 2 sons are Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Okay. So Uttanapad's dynasty is covered, and Vidura is hearing Maitreya Muni since 3rd canto middle, 3rd canto 5th chapter. But suddenly Vidura got an inspiration to go and enlighten Dhritarashtra. He wouldn't hear Priyavrata's dynasty and other aspects of Bhagavatam from Maitreya Muni. He would just directly go to Dhritarashtra and enlighten him there. So, what happened after 4.31 is 1.13. First canto 13th chapter we see Vidura goes and enlightens Dhritarashtra. Okay. Now, in this current chapter, the back story of Vidura is described. Vidura, in the third canto of first chapter, it is described that Vidura was checked out of Hastinapur by Duryodhan, and he came out, went on a pilgrimage. He met Uddhava, then he met Maitreya. He had these two cantos of Bhagavatam, and then he went back to Hastinapur to enlighten Dhritarashtra. So Maitreya Muni concluded here, and Vidura expressed his gratitude. So Vidura was ecstatic with tears. Maitreya Muni also said that, Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj that by quoting Maitreya Muni, I have described the Uttanapada's dynasty. Now Priyavrata Maharaj also received spiritual knowledge from Narada Muni, yet he also engaged himself in ruling the world. So based on this 27th shloka about Priyavrat, Parikshit Maharaj asks his question in the 5th canto, 1st chapter. So now Vidura expressed his gratitude to Maitreya Muni in the 28th shloka, and he fell at his lotus feet, and then he thanked him, and then he went. So Vidura said, "Oh my dear Maitreya, by your causeless mercy I have been shown the path of liberation. So I will return back to Godhead by your grace." So taking his permission, Vidura went to Hastinapur. Okay. So Falashruti, last shloka. Those who hear the topics about surrendered kings obtain a long life, wealth, reputation, good fortune, and ultimately opportunity to go back to Godhead, which is more exciting to devotees than the other ones. Okay, so with this, we will conclude. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments?
Guruji, yesterday's shloka recitation, you want to tell something?
Yes, yesterday we spoke a little bit. So one more tip of learning shlokas is we can reduce the effort of by having a one full shloka. You can break it into pieces. Pieces means already 4 lines are there. Try to learn one line at a time. Okay. Yasyam Vaisruyamana Yam, Yasyam Vaisruyamana Yam, Yasyam Vaisruyamana. Like that, say 5 times or 10 times, depending on whatever is your personal need. Then you go to second line. Krishne Parama Purushe, Krishne Parama Purushe, Krishne Parama Purushe. Like that, by repeatedly reciting individual lines of the shloka, that will eventually sit in our memory. And oftentimes I give this tip also. Say you selected 10 important shlokas. You want to learn them. So allocate 5 minutes or 10 minutes in a day. To recite 10 shlokas, you hardly need some 2.5-3 minutes. Once you become familiar with the pronunciation. Then today you took out 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you can recite these 10 shlokas 3 times or 4 times, depending on your pace. So you say you are reciting from 7 a.m. to 7:10 a.m. Today. Tomorrow also 7 to 7:10 you recite the same set of 10 shlokas 3 times or 4 times. Day after tomorrow do the same thing. Next do the same thing. Over a period of a week or 2, whatever, the 10 shlokas will sit in their sequence in your memory. Okay. So repeated, regulated, time-bound recitation will work. So slokas will definitely make their way into our memory. That's one thing. And also, not just the recitation and remembrance, familiarity with the meaning also will help us to retain the shloka within our memory. For that, what I do personally in my notes is I write the shloka in Telugu in my mother tongue in one color, red color. And there are some tough words in the shloka which I don't know. I see proper word to word meanings and write the meanings of those tough words in black color above the word itself. I keep some gaps between the lines. So, and sometimes I would even generate a line by line meaning. That's what I keep doing in Subodhini also. Line by line meaning. Word to word meaning is like too detailed. Full translation is like too condensed. Okay. When you see a full translation, immediately making a connection between the Sanskrit and English becomes little difficult. When you see only word to word, I mean, you know the individual meanings of the words, but to generate a prose sentence, sensible prose sentence also becomes little difficult. So I thought a middle way would be better for me. So I try to generate line by line meanings, one line meaning. Of course, when you are generating line by line meanings, oftentimes, sometimes it's not possible to generate a full sentence by combining all the line by line meanings, but many times it's possible also. Rudragita, that's what I did. So I try to learn the shloka line by line, one line after another line. So that also keeps us in touch with the meaning of the shloka. Once the meaning becomes familiar, then memorizing the shloka becomes easier. And first thing, as I said, is loving the shloka is the key factor. When you love the shloka, you tend to repeatedly ruminate on it, recollect it within the mind. So the evening, the end of the day or the next day, it just sits in the memory, even if it's a very long shloka also. Now, another very effective method to retain the shloka within our memory is to write it. You write it with your own hand. Don't just read the book. You take the book and then read Hare Krishna. You can read Janmadhyasya Yataha Anvayaditaratasya. Reading definitely has an impact, but you see it and write it. Don't see it and write it. Something like that. You just write in your own handwriting. That will help a lot. And when next time when you are reading, right, you open your handwritten book and read instead of directly the book. So that also helps in retaining by writing with our own hands. Then also try to, when you learn one shloka, try to explain its meaning to others. You explain, okay, you go to your friend, today I have learned this shloka and this is the beautiful meaning of this shloka. And when you are explaining the meaning, don't just use only English words, use Sanskrit words. Try to explain the shloka bit by bit, line by line, by relating the English with the Sanskrit as much as possible. Krishna said, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Sarva means all, Dharman means duties, Parityajya means to give up. Sarva Dharman Parityajya means to give up all the duties. And Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Mam, me, Ekam, only me. Sharanam Vraja, take shelter. You please take shelter of me. This is how Krishna is teaching us. If you just narrate the meaning of the shloka, share the meaning of the shloka with another devotee, that devotee gets benefited and you also get benefited. So by sharing, we will understand how much we understood. By sharing, we will understand more also, more than that. Because other devotees also will share their understanding. Our meditation on the shloka will increase. So this is another effective way to share the meanings. And as I said yesterday also, reciting in groups will be very beneficial. If you are reciting the shlokas in groups, group need not be 100 people, it can be 2 people also. You can recite with your friend, neighbor, or if you are an ashram co-brahmachari, if it is a home, maybe some relatives or brothers or sisters or children, okay, so that is good. And another thing is when you are writing the shloka, write it on a post-it or something like that. I write in my diary directly on the notes itself, in my systematic notes, shloka by shloka notes, and keep seeing it. Let it be within your visibility. That also will help. Another key factor is recite the shlokas in a tune, not just read like prose. Okay, manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi. So if you read it like a paragraph, it's like it may not retain the memory so much. But if you recite it in poetry, in certain meter, in a tune that is comfortable for you, one shloka can be recited in multiple tunes. You select some tune which is easy for you to memorize, and once you select one tune, multiple shlokas will fit in that same tune. Okay, for example, you selected, well, let's take small shlokas. Shlokas are of multiple meters, small, medium, long. I don't know the technical details of the names of these meters, but basically longer shlokas are there with Anushtup Chanda, only 8 syllables in a line. There is a long shloka, Janmadhyasataha, 19 syllables in a line, which is equivalent to about 2.5 lines of a normal shloka. Say you took one shloka from say 8th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Antakale cha bhameva smaran muktva kalevaram. This you can recite in a tune, multiple tunes. Antakale cha bhameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Antakale cha mameva. So when you are reciting it in a tune, even if you miss some syllables or words while recitation, you will realize it. When you are reading it like a prose, you can't realize only. Antakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram. So smaran you forgot. You forgot smaran or smaran. Antakale cha mameva mukta kalevaram. I mean, you don't realize that you have forgotten some word. But if you are setting in a tune, Antakale cha mameva, a pause there. Second line. Smaran muktva kalevaram. Now when you say Antakale cha mameva muktva kalevaram, I think some word is missing there. You will realize it immediately. Because what went into your memory is not filling in the standard tune of recitation. Okay, you will realize that I am missing some words. Then you see the book and then do it. So what else? There are very long shlokas. Long shlokas also you can retain very easily, provided you sing in certain tune. Because long shlokas, for example, let me take one longer shloka. Longest shloka in Mukundamala Stotra. Shatruchhedaika mantram sakalam sampujya mantram samsarochheda mantram samuchita tamasaha sangha niryana mantram sarvaishwaryaika mantram vyasana bhujaga sandashta santrana mantram jihve Sri Krishna mantram japa japa satatam janma safalya mantram. So it's a very long shloka. At least there are almost 80 syllables, okay, in this. So general shloka Anushtup Chanda, there are 32 syllables. Now it's like close to 80 or 76, something like that syllables are there, or even more than that, I think. So Shatru Chedaika mantram. Now in this shloka, you can break it into pieces. One line you can make into 2 lines. So in my notes, what I do is I write this shloka in 8 lines and generate line by line meanings of each line. Padyavali shlokas or Mukundamala stotras, I just divide like that. So that division of one line into small pieces or phrases. I was quoting this shloka, right? Vyadhasya charanam dharvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka. So one line is speaking about 3 personalities. Vyadhasya acharanam dharvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka. So there is a logical sequence in this. There is a logical, the shloka is presented with certain logic. Identify that logic. Identify the content of the shloka. It's, Prabhupada says, it's not just like parrot-like repetition. So there is a meaning associated with it. So when you bring in the meaning there, when you try to get familiar with the meaning, while reciting the shloka, meaning is also there ringing in the mind, then, I am reciting wrong. I am missing some words, or I am jumping words. I am reciting second line into the first line. Sometimes it happens also. Some devotees recite second line as fourth line. Okay. So some devotees mix one shloka line with another shloka line. Why? Because meaning is not sitting in the memory. Okay, so because of by getting familiar with the meaning, you can retain even long shlokas also in the memory. Okay. Okay, there is much more to be said, but I think I'll stop here. Any other questions?
Maybe for Srila Prabhupada purpose also, if you can share some.
Purpose. There's some question in the chat box. I'll come to the chat box. As far as purports are concerned, what I do is I can share the screen of my notes. This is what I saw these notes and spoke. I wrote handwritten notes, but sometimes I also do this. 4.31. I gave the contents here. I broke the chapter into sections. Then first section 1 to 7. Prachetas renounced kingdom to meet Maitreya. I gave the shloka and it's a paraphrased translation. Okay. Then I gave titles to parts of purports. So in this purport, in the first couple of sentences, Prabhupada is speaking about Vedic civilization versus modern civilization and basic flaw of modern civilization. Boys and girls are given freedom. Okay. So just go statement by statement. What I do is I copy a paragraph from the purport, just copy paste the whole folio here, and then just divide the paragraph into individual statements. And there are couple of statements which are related to each other. So in those couple of statements, one statement is the main statement and another statement is a statement that is explaining the statement. I took it as a second bullet. And from within the statement itself, you generate a nice heading, title for that theme. So you give this. Most people are Varna Sankara. Means, what is Varna Sankara? Born of undesirable fathers and mothers. That will lead to chaos. You try to introduce some kind of symbols for you to understand. Sometimes in my notes, I also draw some pictures. Okay, so for example, I can just bring my notes. So this is how. You're able to see? So I just open a random page. So that red line in first glorification of the Lord, that's like a important statement in purpose purport. I put some stars there, blue and all. So this one, this is an important shloka. Ekantalabham vacha sonapumsam sushloka maulir gunavadamahu. I wrote in Telugu and some important, some tough words there itself. And here is a paraphrased translation of that. There A, B, C, D. I just divided the shloka into some points. Okay. And then some details. And sometimes I even would make some pictures. So for example, when I am just writing Hridehamarjam Sulabham Sudarlabham Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karanadharam, so I would just write a boat there. I will write boat, human body. Okay. Then captain, I just put some varley painting there. Captain, Guru, and the ocean, material universe, and some winds. I just draw like that. So that is like scriptures. So some shlokas or some purports can be nicely depicted in a pictorial form. You don't have to be a great artist or a big painter to effectively do that picture. You just draw in your own freestyle. Okay, so that also makes it nice. And sometimes you just I just do this stick notes. This is not there in the book, but I learned something by reading the book. My own reflections I write there, or some shastric connections that I just pick up. So when I read this, I remembered some Gita shloka. I read the Gita shloka there. So then it becomes a meditative experience, and the time at which we are reading also matters a lot. If we are reading randomly, haphazardly at any time, then it may be little difficult to retain what we read. But if we are having a regulated time, of course, schedules keep changing. We understand that it's not practical. Even in Brahmacharya ashram also, my God, schedules go really random. Some festival comes, some event comes, some guest comes, health goes down, monsoon comes, so Rath Yatra comes, Janmashtami comes. It's little difficult schedules, but nevertheless, as much as possible, we can try to maintain some uniformity in our schedule and consistency in our reading habits. So 1 hour you have dedicated for study uh, at so and so, say 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Best is like early morning, say 7 to 8, something like that. Then try to stick to that schedule as much as possible. And whenever we get some time, increase that quota. While traveling, what else we will do? We can open it and read something. Okay, so that also matters. And many more things to be said, but I think I'll stop here. It's 12:28. The chat box question, let me see. For kids, how we should make schedule of reciting shlokas? There are so many shlokas means they will learn new and forgot previous one. Yes, it happens with many kids. So, is there any list of main important shlokas from Bhagavatam which one should always remember, and also what other shlokas are important, especially for kids as well as for us, like Mukundamala Stotra, Vishnu Sahasranam, seeking your guidance? Okay. So, yes, we may not be able to memorize all the 700 shlokas of Gita or 18,000 shlokas of Bhagavatam. We can definitely have a short list. Um, in my case, when I'm reading, I would just when I like the meaning of the shloka or meter of the shloka, I put it in my notes. So my list is bigger. But when I was coordinating Vidyapit, for Vidyapit students, I made a smaller list. Initially, I gave my list. It became 1400 shlokas. The first batch of Vidyapits in 2012, they memorized 1400 shlokas. So they are a little frustrated with me. This fellow gives so many shlokas to memorize. Sometimes they had to quote 3 shlokas, 4 shlokas, 5 shlokas in an exam. Anyways, it was not mandatory. People can. I also parallelly tell them, do your best. Do your best. You don't have to be the best. So, yeah, but there are shortened list, 200 shlokas in Bhagavad Ratnamala. Ratnamala shloka book. Radhesham Prabhu only requested you put the shlokas in the form of a small book, pocket book. With his request only Ratnamala manifested. Then in about 10-15 days I put everything in a small book and then we launched it in about 5-6 years back. A short list is there. Gita Ratnamala, Bhagavad Ratnamala I made. And there are other, I see the Sloka Ratnavali pocket book also. Devotees keep carrying. So some senior devotees have selected some most key shlokas. So Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam and all. So that will, that list we can give to the children. By the way, children, one little observation, it may go into their memory, they may not understand the meaning so much. And even if they happen to understand the meaning, they may not be able to, their innocence and they're very young. But these vibes that they're receiving, the efforts to memorize the shlokas that they're putting at a young age will definitely come to their rescue and help them over a long run. So we may not put pressure on them, or we may not expect that they also understand the meanings and also remember every single shloka that they memorize. For a period they will remember, and the second standard kid comes to third standard kid. He forgets whatever he learnt in second standard. That's fine, but it's there somewhere in the back of mind. As soon as they see the first line of the shloka, they will recall, in my third standard I memorized this. That's what happened with me also. In my school days, we had a compulsory shloka recitation session in the morning. Okay, about half an hour, all 500-600 students would recite. I recited entire Bhagavad Gita multiple times as a child, but I hardly remembered many shlokas. Some shlokas like Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Sarvadharman Parityajya, very popular shlokas, they are there in the memory. But when 2021, when I opened Prabhupada's book as it is and systematically read Bhagavad Gita, then I could relish what I remembered in the childhood better. And along with the academics, some exam phase comes and Everything is gone. All the shlokas go in the background and exams take the forefront. And after exams, then vacation, enjoyment. Okay. So then again coming back and realizing, recollecting the shlokas, people may not. But the fact is that these vibes that they're receiving at a young age will definitely help them when they're little grown up. When they become a little more mature, then they can immediately reconnect with it, provided they don't become too distracted in the modern world. In our childhood, the distractions are quite less. Maybe TV was a distraction. Now TV is there in the pocket itself. Okay, you can go to any channel in the TV. So distractions are there. So we need to safeguard the younger generation from that. At the same time, we can keep nourishing them with spiritual sound vibration, not having too much of undue expectation that they will retain everything, but they will get something. Okay, thank you. We'll conclude here.
We were last. Hare
Hare Krishna. Who is speaking?
Prabhuji, Hari Gaurang Das speaking. Prabhuji, one request was there. In the previous class, you had told that for shloka memorizing, also some people they like the music or that meter of that shloka. So like there are many shlokas with different meters. So at least can we get some like some 6 to 7 meters are there? I think that is the standard. So one shloka for 1 meter, if we can get some audio, then maybe we can.
Yeah, audios are there, Prabhu. You can see. Audios are there. I can just send the link. At mine I can send, but there are many other devotees. Radha Gopinath Prabhu, very beautifully, he recited entire Bhagavad Gita.
One is that hearing the shloka and the meter for that shloka, but like that 4 to 5 meters we want to memorize so that we can apply that meter for different shlokas.
Okay.
Varieties of meters which are possible or which are used generally.
I am posting that multiple meters and sample recitations in the chat box. You can go through that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. They are there in ISKCON Directory also. Okay, so we'll conclude here.
Hare Krishna. So we are very grateful to His Grace Gaurang Darshan Guru. It is every class of his is like continuous flow of pure nectar. Doesn't speak anything outside the parampara. Just pure Shuddha nectar of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and Great Souls purports. And with all so many shlokas, prayers, practically Bhagavatam, like he is absorbed, soaked in Bhagavatam. Whatever comes out, like when you squeeze a person, squeeze the orange, then orange juice comes out. You squeeze the mango juice comes out. So you anything that squeeze out, you squeeze Gaurang Darshan, only Bhagavatam shlokas comes out. So Gaurang Darshan is amazingly absorbed Bhagavatam, and he is squeezing out his time to actually give us his valuable association in 3 days to cover these 3 long chapters. The first one was very long, but Prabhu has so much practically understood and where to emphasize and how much. So he can summarize and expand wherever required to ensure that within time, with question answer time and everything, he can give the essence also and still, like not dilute the subject content also at the same time give us all the things. So it's a very great blessing that we have such a wonderful devotee and he giving us this association. Let's thank His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. You can unmute yourself. Let's thank His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu by loudly chanting Hari Bol!
Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
And we pray for his physical association at Pune also at times, sometime if his health and time allows.
I am always very happy to speak to devotees at NVCC Pune, and I always remember Radheshyam Prabhu only, and I remember Pune. So, and all the devotees who are there in his association, regularly seeing his inspiring example, reflect some demeanor which is really divine and inspiring. So, Now, when he was here in Vidyapeeth 2 years, I could witness how he is making notes, and sometimes in his exam papers he would draw all these pictures. Okay, so Puranjan he drew a picture, and chariot analogy he drew a picture. So I said, oh fine, some precedence is there. I am making some paintings in my book. So some senior devotees are also making paintings bona fide. So seeing him, we learned a lot of things, not only in terms of study, but overall demeanor and character and his mood as a Vaishnav. And Antardvip Prabhu and Revatipati Prabhu and many devotees there in Pune are extremely loving and encouraging and inspiring. So, unlimited services they are doing and inspiring so much of youth and attracting them to Krishna consciousness. Nowadays, attracting youth is not a small thing. The amount of distraction, absorption in materialism is too rampant in the youth nowadays. But even in such circumstances, attempting to attract youth to Krishna consciousness is such a phenomenal service that all the devotees at Pune are doing, apart from many other wonderful services. And one thing I must remember is the beautiful deities of Radha Vrindavan Chandra there, that smiling faces, very sweet faces of the deities. That's another exciting part of Pune when I come there. So I'll also try to come once. So thank you so much for your association, and thank you so much for tolerating me, my flaws and my fast-paced narration and not covering every single chapter like the way I generally do or other devotees are doing. So because of lack of time, we had to condense things in this way. I'm really sorry if there is any inconvenience. I did not do justice to these chapters, considering your regular format. So thank you so much for your mercy. I pray for your blessings and prayers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
His grace Gaurang Mursi ki jai.
Jai.